हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम क्लास 8th के एसएसटी से कुछ क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस करेंगे जो कि 9th वगैरह के एंट्रेंस में काम आने वाला है, जीएमआई वगैरह के एंट्रेंस में। आइए देखते हैं। पहला क्वेश्चन है, विच रिवोल्ट इज लेड बाय नाना साहेब द एडॉप्टेड सन ऑफ पेशवा बाजीराव सेकेंड। नाना साहेब द एडॉप्टेड सन ऑफ पेशवा बाजीराव सेकेंड। कानपुर रिवोल्ट इज लेड बाय नाना साहेब। सही जवाब है कानपुर। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सिपोय? The term sepoy was used by East India Company for soldiers. जो सिपोय वर्ड है वो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी द्वारा इस्तेमाल में लाया जाता था सोल्जर्स के लिए, सिपाहियों के लिए। तो सही जवाब है सोल्जर। Who was Nana Sahib? Son of Peshwa Bajirao II. Nana Sahib was the son of Peshwa Bajirao II. He declared that he was a governor under Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar. तो सही जवाब होगा son of Peshwa Bajirao II. Who was proclaimed leader of the revolt of 1857 from Mughal Empire? इसका सही जवाब है बहादुर शाह जफर। 1857 के रिवोल्ट में लीडर बनाया गया था बहादुर शाह जफर को। Who wanted to recognize her adopted son as the heir of her झांसी kingdom? इसका सही जवाब है रानी लक्ष्मीबाई। The place where Bahadur Shah Zafar was sent under the life imprisonment sentence by the British. कौन से जगह बहादुर शाह जफर को भेज दिया गया उम्र कैद की सजा देकर? इसका सही जवाब है रंगून। नेम द सन ऑफ बेगम हजरत महल फ्रॉम लखनऊ। बेगम हजरत महल के लड़के का क्या नाम था? बिरजिस कादिर। नेम द रेबल हु टॉट गुरिल्ला वॉर अगेंस्ट ब्रिटिश विद सपोर्ट सेवरल पीजेंट लीडर्स। का सही जवाब है तांत्या टोपे। हु वेयर ट्राइबल्स? ट्राइबल्स नोन एज आदिवासीज। Aborigines were the original inhabitants of vast forest in western, central, southern, eastern and northeastern parts of the country. सही जवाब ए है। What do you mean by term of fallow land? Fallow land से आप क्या समझते हैं? Fallow land is a field, a piece of land left uncultivated for a while so that the soil can recover. मतलब जमीन के ऐसे भाग को जिसे छोड़ दिया जाता है उसकी उर्वरता बढ़ाने के लिए खाली छोड़ दिया जाता है, उसे ही फैलो लैंड कहते हैं। फील्ड लेफ्ट अनकल्टिवेटेड। वाज द लीडर ऑफ उलगुलान मूवमेंट? उलगुलान मूवमेंट का लीडर कौन था? उलगुलान मूवमेंट वाज लेड बाय बिरसा मुंडा। नेम द 4 जियोग्राफिक रीजन्स वेयर आदिवासीज प्रीडोमिनेंटली लिव। इसका सही जवाब है ऑल ऑफ दीज। नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट, सेंट्रल स्टेट, साउथ इंडिया, इन सब जगहों पे आदिवासी रहते थे। इसका सही जवाब है ऑल ऑफ। आदिवासीज predominantly live in foothills of Himalayan, northeastern state, central India and the South India. What do you mean by the term mahua? Mahua is a flower that is eaten or used to make alcohol. Bewar is used for which purpose in Madhya Pradesh? Bewar is a term used in Madhya Pradesh for shifting cultivation. व्यवहार जो शब्द है, वर्ड है, वो शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जाता था एमपी में। मोस्ट ट्राइबल लाइक खोन्स ऑफ ओडिशा। द खोन्स वेयर such a community living in the forest of Odisha. They regularly went out on collective hunts and then divided the meat. amongst themselves। इसका सही जवाब है ऑप्शन सी, collected and sold forest product। What were the Santhal of Hazaribagh? Hazaribagh in present day Jharkhand was an area where the Santhal reared cocoon. The traders dealing in silk sent in their agent who gave loans to the tribal people and collected the cocoons। इसका सही जवाब है रियर्ड सिल्क वर्म, रेशम कीट पालन का उनका बिजनेस था। For what purpose kusum and palash flower are used? For what purpose kusum and palash flowers are used? Coloring clothes and leather। The local weavers and leather workers turned to the khons when they needed supplies of kusum and palash flower to color their cloth and leather। कुसुम और पलाश के फूलों का इस्तेमाल जो है खोंस जनजाति कपड़ों को कलर करने के लिए और लेदर को कलर करने के लिए करती थी। ऑप्शन बी सही है। द कल्टिवेटर्स हु प्रैक्टिस शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन वेयर, तो क्या कहेंगे? झूम। इसका सही जवाब है झूम। द कल्टिवेटर्स हु प्रैक्टिस शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन वेयर झूम। आउटसाइडर्स वेयर बीइंग रेफर्ड टू एज डिकूज। द मैन सीन रोमिंग द फॉरेस्ट and villages of Chota Nagpur in Jharkhand 1895 was। इसका सही जवाब है बिरसा मुंडा। The Khons community used sal and mahua seeds for। जो खोन्स कम्युनिटी है वो साल और महुआ को जो है महुआ के बीज को इस्तेमाल करती थी क्या करने के लिए? इसका जवाब है फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग फूड। द ट्राइबल्स हु reared goats and from कश्मीर, सही जवाब है बकरवाल। जो कश्मीर के ट्राइबल पीपल हैं जो बकरियां चाहते हैं वो बकरवाल कहलाते हैं। Tribals who saw themselves as people of forest and could only live on the produce of forest, इसका जवाब है बैगा। The Baigas of central India were reluctant to do work for others। The Baigas saw themselves as people of the forest who could only live on the produce of the forest। When was permanent settlement introduced in India? 1793। Who was Amani? Person appointed by the local people, person appointed by the government, person appointed by the king। Person appointed by the government। The person appointed by the government in the south to collect land revenue is called Amani। The person appointed by the government in the south to collect land revenue is called Amani। What do you know about permanent settlement of land revenue? Permanent settlement was introduced in 1793 by the terms of the settlement. The Rajas and Talukdar were recognized as Jamindar। They were asked to collect rent from the peasant and pay revenue to the company। तो सही जवाब है ए, land revenue was fixed। The arrangement between the government and a landlord under which the land revenue was fixed with respect to the yield is known as permanent settlement of land revenue। What do you mean by the term mortgage? Term mortgage से आप क्या समझते हैं? तो सही जवाब है agreement between money lenders and peasant। When did the Chuar revolt of Bihar and Bengal broke out? इसका सही जवाब है 1816। Who introduced the permanent settlement of Bengal? Lord Cornwallis। What is a mahal? A revenue estate। Which product company was trying to expand and cultivate opium, indigo, both? इसका सही जवाब हो जाएगा both. Mahalwari system was devised by Holt Mackenzie. In the process of improving agriculture and earning the revenue income, the British needed to invest in land. 1770 famine killed. इसका सही जवाब है 10 million people लगभग. Which year is the mark of beginning of Champaran movement by Mahatma Gandhi? 1917. The lathi wielding strongman maintained by planters are lathiyals. A large farm operated by a planter employing various forms of forced labor is called plantation. Who was Alivardi Khan? Nawab of Bengal. When was Battle of Plassey fought? 1757. Which treaty gave the Diwani of British? Treaty of Allahabad. Who was Hyder Ali, ruler of Mysore? Who introduced doctrine of lapse? Lord Dalhousie. Which India things were in a great demand in Europe? Cotton, paper, cloths. All of these. What do you mean by Privy Council? Privy Council का क्या मतलब है? Privy Council is the King's Council based in London. तो सही जवाब है King's Council. Which company was first to set up its trading factory in India? तो सही जवाब है East India Company. Where did East India Company set up its trading factory? Hooghly, River Hooghly. What do you mean by the term puppet? Person who is controlled by someone else. Puppet मतलब कठपुतली, ऐसा शख्स जो किसी और के इशारे पे चलता हो. What was required by the British Army for fighting with Burma, Afghanistan, Egypt? तो उसका सही जवाब है muskets and matchlocks, both A and B. The Maratha chiefs were held together in a confederacy under the Peshwa. Who were the members? Holkar, Sindhia, Bhonsle and Gaikwad, all of these. Three powerful Nawab of Bengal: Sirajuddaulah, Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan, all of these. सही जवाब है all of these. What do you mean by colonization? Colonization का मतलब क्या होता है? उसका सही जवाब है subjugation of one country by another. What do you mean by mercantile? Business enterprises. At present, about what historians do not write. How markets came up. Name of the Portuguese explorer and discoverer of sea route to India in 1498, Vasco da Gama. Which new power was emerging on the political horizon by the second half of 18th century? उसका सही जवाब है ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी. Who among the Mughal ruler led the battle of 1857? Bahadur Shah Zafar. Name the powerful Mughal ruler who established his control over a very large area now known as India. सही जवाब है औरंगजेब. Who among the following state was annexed on the argument of misgovernment? Awadh 1856. Name the Governor General under whom there was the maximum annexation. Lord Dalhousie. Give another name of Adivasis, tribals. Right to life is under which article of the Constitution? Article 21. What is a market? Place of selling and buying things. In which year did the Bhopal gas tragedy happen? 1984. Which gas has been leaked from Union Carbide plant in Bhopal gas tragedy? Methyl isocyanate. Which is the world's densest railway route? Mumbai. Which article of the Indian Constitution states that untouchability has been abolished? Article 17. छुआछूत के प्रथा को खत्म करता है आर्टिकल 17. Which one of the following metal is found in forest? Iron. What are the importance of the court of law in our legal system? Provide justice. What is the full form of FIR? First Information Report. Which is the highest judicial authority in a state? High Court. Which is the highest court of appeal in our country? Supreme Court. What is rule of law? All are same before law. कानून के सामने सब बराबर हैं. In which age judge of the High Court get retired? 62 years. What type of cases is related to civil cases? Disputes over property. केस उसे कहते हैं जो जमीन वगैरह को लेके मतलब जो केस हुआ हो या जो झगड़ा हुआ हो. Who was the religious minorities in India? Sikh, Jain, Muslim, all of these. Where did the Supreme Court of India is located? New Delhi. All persons are equal before whom? Law. सभी लोग बराबर हैं लॉ के सामने, कानून के सामने, कानून के समक्ष. What is the full form of PIL? Public Interest Litigation. Why do we need laws? To protect our right. When was the Supreme Court of India established? 26th Jan 1950. Who has the power to modify laws? Parliament. What was the Rowlatt Act? To control revolutionary activities. What is violation of laws? Crime against the law. Who was General Dyer? English officer जिसने जलियांवाला बाग हत्याकांड करवाया था. When was the Rowlatt Act was passed? 10th March 1919. Who implements laws? Executive. Who is the head of the executive at the central level? President. How many members are nominated by President in Rajya Sabha? 12 members. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by whom? Legislative assemblies. For what period of time the President of India holds office? 5 years. When was the EVM used for the first? 2004. The Parliament of India has how many houses? 2. Lower house and upper house. What do you mean by the houses of people? Lok Sabha. What is the full form of EVM? Electronic voting machine. What was the name of two non-secular countries, Saudi Arabia and Israel? Both A and B, दोनों non-secular हैं. Which community in Indian society cannot be forced to wear helmet as they wear turban? 6. सिख वगैरह को आप जबरदस्ती हेलमेट नहीं पहना सकते हैं क्योंकि वो पगड़ी बांध के रखते हैं. What is referred to as the separation of religion from the state? इसका सही जवाब है सेकुलरिज्म. राज्य या देश से धर्म को अलग करना सेकुलरिज्म कहलाता है। एक सेकुलर कंट्री किसी भी धर्म को मान्यता नहीं देता है या वैल्यू नहीं देता है या किसी को बढ़ाता नहीं है, किसी धर्म को, किसी खास धर्म को। बाइंग एंड सेलिंग ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग इंक्लूड इन विच राइट? राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, शोषण के विरुद्ध अधिकार। What defines the introduction to our constitution? Preamble, प्रस्तावना। What is the name of the kingship or rule of a king? Monarchy. What is democracy? Rule of people. लोगों के शासन को डेमोक्रेसी कहते हैं। What is sovereignty? Freedom to govern oneself. By which amendment the fundamental duties were included in the Constitution? 42nd Amendment. सरदार सवार सिंह समिति के द्वारा। Which court issue the writs? Supreme Court and High Court. When did Indian National Congress (INC) make the demand for a constituent assembly? 1934. When did our constitution was adopted and was enforced? 26th Jan 1950. पंचायती राज is the tier of which government? Third. तो इस तरह से आज का हमारा टेस्ट कंप्लीट हुआ। तो मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए आप मेरे वीडियो को लाइक, सब्सक्राइब और शेयर कीजिए ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा। ओके बाय, टेक केयर।